everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I've got the second part to the This Has Got to Stop video that I did on Chilli, the videos that he was, or the live streams that he was doing about 13-year-old Lainey Hudson, who was unfortunately hit and killed by a off-duty police officer in Huntington, West Virginia. Again, we don't know everything that happened. We don't know details pretty much of anything right now because it's still being investigated, which takes time to investigate. Chilli, however, seems to somehow know the exact speed that the cop was going and that he was that it was a red light he went through. And I mean, there's just so much wrong about what Chilli is doing and saying, demanding that certain people contact him. Like, it's just pathetic. The way he behaves and the way he talks and his lies and his just everything about this is so cringy. And I don't understand why anybody would want to contact him. He is a nobody. He's a nobody on TikTok. Well, technically he's a racist on TikTok. And on YouTube, he's a grifting liar who will go after anyone's tragedy to make money and a name for himself. And that's what he's doing here. He's using the death of a 13-year-old girl so that he can continue his narrative of hate towards cops. He is so jealous of an entire organization that he wants to see every single person in that organization go down. And he will use a 13-year-old girl's death to see this happen. It's amazing what jealousy can do to somebody. And what we're seeing is jealousy is self-destructing Chilli. Hope you kind of enjoy the video because the content, or the whole background behind it is just so sad. I don't know how anybody could enjoy a video of a man-child using a 13-year-old girl's death for his own benefit. I don't understand. So I'm not even going to say enjoy the video, I guess. Before I start this video, however, Chilli did say one honest thing for the first time ever.
We have no clue what happened.
There you go. He said one honest thing.
Changes in the stories. First, the statement. Let me go back on that. Sorry about that. First, the statement from Wellman was that field sobriety tests were given on the scene. Well, we don't know that because the first responders are all cops, so we have no idea what happened. We have no clue what happened because there's no third party. There's just this one organization, and they have absolute power over us. If you even slightly resist your arm being grabbed, they will tase you, shoot you, kill you, throw you under the ground 15 feet under, put the jail on top of you. If you show any kind of flexion in your face that you might want to resist them, well, then you can be stomped to the ground like a pack of horses are going over the top of you. But this cop, he kills a 13-year-old girl to the point where it mangles his patrol car, mangles the patrol car that you and I pay for, that he shouldn't be driving off duty and drinking. And then it says...
Okay, so now Chilli is claiming that the police officer's vehicle was completely mangled. That is a photo of Deputy Jeffrey Racer's patrol car after the hit. It's not mangled at all. Now, let me get one thing straight because I don't want people coming in and saying that I'm sticking up for the police officer. I'm not sticking up for anybody, okay? I'm not sticking up for the police officer in any way possible. The death of this 13-year-old girl is horrific. It tears my heart out. I think I already explained in my live stream how I felt about this, and I explained it in my last video about this, how I feel. But I'm going to say it again. I am in no way making excuses or sticking up for the police officer. What I am doing is I'm pointing out Chilli's lies, exaggerations, and the twisting of stories that he does. I am pointing out that he is using a 13-year-old girl's death to profit off of financially and to make a name for himself. He's making a name for himself. It's just not a good one. That is all I'm trying to do here. The point is, I did show this to a few mechanics in town. I showed the photo. They said that this car is not in any way destroyed, mangled, or unoperable. The hood itself can be pounded out and it would be fine. You'd see, creases and stuff in it unless they pounded it out perfectly. But you could pound it out and drive. This is not a mangled vehicle. Had the police officer been driving at the speed that Chilli claims, in the last video he claimed that the officer was going 75 miles an hour. In this video, he's claiming that the police officer was driving at way over 80 miles an hour. Again, proving Chilli has no clue what he's talking about, and he's just lying. Why is he lying? Because he is so jealous of one organization that he was not able to get into when he was younger, that he is now going to do and say whatever he can to bring every one of them down. Jealousy does horrible things to people. And we can see that in Chilli himself. And also, about him driving his patrol car off duty. Police officers do it all the time. There's many police officers that their main car is their patrol car. They drive it while at work. They drive it while off work. There is no law or policy stating that a police officer or a sheriff's deputy is not allowed to drive their patrol car around, even off duty. So Chilli needs to, again, shut his mouth because he has no clue what he's talking about. I will point out yet again that Chilli has no clue how fast this police officer was going. Neither does anybody really else. Honestly, nobody else knows how fast he was driving. That's why they are investigating the black box that's within the vehicle. That box will tell how fast this car was going at impact. This is why I'm making this video, because Chilli lies. He doesn't know how to do anything but lie. Like many have said, if Chilli's mouth is moving, he's lying.
Cop car looked like. He was speeding in his cruiser. And that is what now, I was raised in Alaska, and the thing that we always had to look out for when we drove down the road was bear and moose. Moose, mostly. Bear would run and hide most of the time. They didn't come out on the road, but the moose did. And when there's an indentation in a car like that one, that means one of two or three things. One of two things for sure. The third could have both of them. That would mean that the weight of the moose that you hit had such an overwhelming amount of weight that it would dent the metal on top of your car or on the bumper. Or the second one would be that it's a small moose and that you hit it doing a very fast rate of speed. As you know, weight times velocity equals impact. If you've ever played football, then you know that weight times velocity equals impact. And the hood of this cruiser is destroyed from a 13-year-old girl that couldn't have weighed more than 90 pounds.
And again, this is what it looks like after hitting a small moose that's around or just close to a year old at 45 miles an hour. This is a mangled hood. This is not a mangled hood. It's just the lies that get to me. It's the lies.
Everybody, your communication devices are taken away. You're sequestered so that we can then question you to find what happened. In the James Sheets murder in Youngstown, Ohio, with the Struthers Police Department up there, when James Sheets was murdered by Tommy Shinneman, then what happened was he was allowed to sit there and text message and call his buddies who are also cops. Who are the first responders? The cops. So what happened in this situation here? They got to the scene, swooped him up in a car, and drove him.
Of course, the first people the police officer is going to contact is the police when he's involved in an incident where the other person died. Who else do you expect him to call, Chilli? Domino's? Uber? Like, where is your thought process going with that? Even if it is a cop that does that, the first thing he's going to do is call the police because they are the first responders that need to come out along with the ambulance. So you're literally going to sit here, a cop calling the cops when he killed somebody in a shooting. I don't understand what you think he was supposed to do. The first thing you do in a problem like this or in a situation like this is you call the police. Whether you're a police officer or not, you call the police. You're just so dumb.
Because the first responders are all cops, so we have no idea what happened. We have no clue what happened because there's no third party. There's just this one organization, and they have absolute power over us. If you even slightly resist your arm being grabbed, they will tase you, shoot you, kill you, throw you under the ground 15 feet under, put the jail on top of you. If you show any kind of flexion in your face that you might want to resist them, well, then you can be stomped to the ground like a pack of horses are going over the top of you.
And yet just more lies from Chilli to Castro. It's all he knows how to do is lie.
Try to cover this up. CC Ross, you nailed it. It's my cousin's name, by the way. We can't let this get covered. Justice for Laney, 100%. So what exactly is CC Ross talking about right there? Hannah Elizabeth Giamarino. Okay, Hannah Elizabeth Giamarino was with Jeff Racer in his police cruiser. The story I'm being told is that Jeff Racer was in a improper relationship because he's married, and that the cops who came there to save him, they actually swooped him up and took him to his house where his wife kicked him out. And this is the story I'm hearing. So I don't know what's true and what's not. These are the stories I'm getting from West Virginia and from Kentucky and from Ohio. So apparently, Hannah Elizabeth Giamarino was with Jeff Racer. You know, Hannah, listen, call me. Because, Hannah, your credit card bills are going to get subpoenaed, as are Jeff Racer's, how many drinks were paid for. The bartenders will be subpoenaed. Hannah, you're not going to be able to lie your way out of this for them. There are too many people involved. And now that we finally have the youth involved, things will change. Remember, the civil rights movement through the 1960s, the average age of someone protesting and fighting for civil rights was 15 years old. An old person was 19. Most of them were 13, 14, and 15 years old fighting for civil rights in the 1960s. We are having history repeat itself in the 2020s. We are fighting for our. And let me tell you something, coppers, you don't have one speck of the energy of these junior high and high school kids. Right there in that area. Hannah, you're not going to be able to lie, cheat, and steal. You're not one of them, Hannah. They will turn on you. They will turn on you just like I told those people in Ironton who were great big copsuckers, and they turned on them. They're going to turn on you, Hannah. They're going to hang you out to dry. Don't think that they won't, Hannah. They will hang you out to dry. They don't care about you. They only care about their own, Hannah. I strongly recommend that you call me and we record your phone call so we can get the truth out before they try to twist you. And Hannah, it gets even worse because not only will they try to twist and convert you, they'll threaten your friends, they'll threaten your family, they'll arrest your family members. There is no limit to what the state will do to protect bad actors. We're seeing that in New York with.
So now he's pointing out this girl Hannah on Facebook, showing her Facebook page and information on there, claiming that she is an adulteress to this sheriff's deputy and begging for her to call him, and then telling her that if she doesn't and she listens to the police, they're going to destroy her and threaten her family and her friends and all this other stuff. I'm going to say this. Hannah, please do not call them. Call him. Do not. I don't care what you do in your life, and you may regret at some point, but if you call him, if you call Chilli, I guarantee it will be your biggest regret in your life because he does not care about you. He doesn't care about Lainey Hudson. He doesn't care about her family. He only cares what this is going to do for him financially and fame-wise. That's all this is about. He is riding the coattail of a 13-year-old girl who died by a cop for his own personal gain, and that is it. Do not contact him. And if you do not allow him to record your calls, because he will edit the phone calls. He has edited so many phone calls. Every time he puts out a phone call, it's been edited in some certain way. He will edit your phone call. I've already contacted Hannah. I hope she listens to my heed. It's just sad. It's so sad that he is doing this.
I was in quadratic formula, which is a high school algebra equation. This isn't hard. You guys are witnessing it. You're seeing it. And now a little girl is dead. And I was talking to Opal earlier. I was talking to Opal earlier. Let me see if I can just play a little clip of this. And I want to make sure that we protect the information that... Okay. Well, I've got you on the phone. What all am I sending? Okay, hold on a second. Live in about 58 minutes. I'm going to call you. Tirelessly to try to get the truth. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. So I got the cop car pictures and I got... Is that in Huntington? Screenshot of this. Okay. 1 second. This is heavy stuff, you know?
That was heavy stuff. That was a phone call between Chilli and another woman. You can clearly tell that at the very, very beginning. And then you recording your voice, then playing a part where Lainey's mother says one word, which is okay, and then your voice again. That was not a phone call between you and Lainey's mother. That was you trying to make your followers believe it was a phone call between you and Lainey's mother. But that wasn't an actual phone call between the two of you. I don't know who you think you're trying to fool, but those of us that know how to pay attention and can think for ourselves can clearly tell that that was not a phone call between you and Lainey Hudson's mother. Nice try, though. But you just proved my point, as I stated earlier in this video, that you edit every one of your recorded phone calls, or you just edit phone calls to make them seem like it was an actual phone call. But good job. You failed, but good job.
Indicted, saying how his boys picked him up, took him in, and then they protected him and kept him safe from. But meanwhile, Hannah has the whole story. Hannah has the story. Hannah, you're not one of them. I'm telling you now. They will dump on you in 2 seconds flat if they think it's going to protect one of them. You are not on their team, Hannah. They are against you. They will cheat you. And if you guys are just joining, there is a GoFundMe pinned at the top of this. This is just, I'm just showing you guys, and I'm really holding back because I have a ton of information that I'm not sharing yet from Lainey's friends and family who have been calling me all day long. I want you guys to hear a part of this real quick. That's why I even took the time just to charge my headphones up real quick. I want you guys to hear what Opal says here. This is This is Lainey's mother on the phone, and I want you to hear what she says here. Let me make sure. I want to make sure I protect anything. Okay, I got this. I really. You guys got to hear what she says. This is so profound, and she puts it into just the most simplistic way. And it's her daughter, so it's, you can't. Wait till you hear this. Wow, this is incredible. So I can't take a chance on any of this leaking. And so
what he cannot have leaked is the fact that that is not his voice in this recording, that it is an interview that was done with Opal, Lainey's mother. However, the male voice is not Chilli's. There was no phone call. He did not record a phone call. If you turn it up loud enough, when you can hear the male voice in the background, you turn it up loud enough, you can tell that that is not Chilli's voice. He does manage to make it loud enough where you could hear Lainey's mother say okay twice, so that you know that her voice is there. That's what he wanted you to hear, was her voice. The reason he had his headphones on was because he was trying to fast forward through this interview to see if he can get a long enough part where Opal was speaking, but the male was not. That way he could say, hey, this is what she told me in a phone call. But it wasn't a phone call between the two of them. For somebody who has to do something like this, who takes an interview and then tries to doctor the interview to make it seem like it was a phone call with him, that's a sick person. And it only proves more that he is using this girl's death to make something for himself. It's sick. He is sick. And this has got to stop. We cannot allow him to continue doing this to other families who are going through tragic moments in life. It's just absolutely sickening. And the fact that he waves his phone in front of the camera saying, I have so much information that I can't share. But watch his body language afterwards, because that shows you he's lying. His body language, his facial expressions, all of these telltale signs are showing that he's lying. And that so-called phone call was just the icing on the cake.
So I can't take a chance on any of this leaking. And so if you were on the scene, if anybody was at the Elks Bar, if anybody was on the scene of the accident, if any witnesses are out there, please don't hesitate to contact me. Please don't hesitate. I hate to say this. Don't go to the cops. I mean, that's where we are in our country right now. Don't go to the police. Put it out into the media. Show everybody. Put it out into the media. Show everybody. The only thing that works in our country is transparency. If you have information, call me. Get a hold of me. DeleteLaws@gmail. Can't get body cam at gmail.
So anybody out there who did watch this, and anybody who is part of Lainey Hudson's family or friends or people at this Elk Bar, do not call Chilli with information and not pass it off to the police. Chilli is a nobody. He is nothing. He is somebody who sits on YouTube trying to grift and lie his way into money, and he will do anything to get it, including embed himself into this family and take advantage of them while they're mourning the death of a 13-year-old girl. What he is having you do by asking you, actually not even asking, by telling you to go directly to him and not go to the police, not only will get you arrested for obstruction, but also tampering with evidence. And you will be arrested for that. You will go to jail for that. If you take any type of legal advice from Chilli, you will go to jail. And there are a few people that are complete proof of that. They took his legal advice, they went to jail. If you listen to him, you will go to jail. Why would you give him the information? He's nothing. You look at his YouTube page and you see 54,000 subscribers. 60% of those subscribers he purchased for $6.99 per 100. He's not going to help you. He's not going to do anything for you. He's just going to use the information you give him so that he can make something of himself. He doesn't care about any of you. He doesn't care about the parents. He doesn't care about the family, the friends, and he sure as hell does not care about Lainey Hudson. The only person Chilli cares about is Chilli.
A bad thing. Put a 1 in the chat. Isn't this crazy? I'm sitting here saying right now, if you have information about this death, don't go to the cops. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. If you know you can't go to the cops. Wow, just really, really sad. Just really sad. Wow. Most people don't go to the cops. If you're a witness of this, don't go to the cops. Call me. Reach out to me. Reach out to me. After going to her family may not be as good as getting that information publicly put out into a voice memo or put out into a video. Because if you go to the cops, they're going to twist your story. And then do you have a cousin who's on probation? Is your dad on probation? Is your mom a recovering drug addict? Is your sister or brother a recovering drug addict, or are they on probation? Because if you go to the cops with your story, and they don't like what you say, then they might say, well, your brother's walking the line right now, and if you bring this out, I just unblocked you. I just unblocked you, a-hole, and now I'm going to block you again. Whatever, dude. If you don't have any empathy for this little girl and you don't know the cops are going to cover it up, well, then, dude, you're not a troll. You're a pig. You're a pig on the internet. These people, just so you guys know, a lot of the people who come here, the people in this chat right now who are saying horrible things, those are cops and their family members. I've tracked down a bunch of them. I just can't do anything.
No, Chilli is absolutely wrong. The police are not going to twist the story if you go to them with information. And now he's also saying not even go to the family if you have information. Just go straight to Chilli. Yeah, because Chilli's going to solve this whole investigation on his own by lying. He's going to solve the whole thing. He's not an expert in anything but lying and grifting and projecting. That's it. If you avoid going to the police with any type of information about what happened and you go to Chilli instead, you will more than likely be arrested for obstruction and tampering with any evidence. Because if you have any kind of information that is important, it is evidence. Chilli is doing nothing but having you put in jail because you're going to listen to him if you do it. And no, the people that go into his chat are not talking bad about this 13-year-old girl that died. No, we're trying to open the eyes of the people that are in there to Chilli's lies. And no, he did not track down any of us. If he did, he wouldn't be able to say that a majority of everybody in there that does this is either a cop or related to a cop. He just can't face the truth. And that's why he gets mad and bans everybody. If you go in there and tell him, Chilli, your sweater is blue. he will block you because according to him, it's probably black, or he'll claim it's a dark blue. You'll tell him it's blue, he'll ban you and say, no, it's not, it's dark blue. It's the truth he doesn't like. And anytime somebody goes in there and states the obvious truth, he will ban them. He doesn't want his followers to see the truth, because if they see the truth, then they won't support him anymore. And now he wants people to come to him with any kind of evidence in this girl's death. Does that not show you he doesn't care about this little girl that died? He can't solve this investigation. If you really cared about this little girl, you would be demanding that anybody who has evidence goes to the police right away. Because this is a matter of somebody's life who unfortunately no longer has one. And any information, even the smallest information, if this cop did this due to negligence, then yes, he deserves to go to prison and will. But if this was a simple accident, then what do you want to happen? If it was just an accident, yes, he shouldn't be able to be a police officer anymore. And he should have to face consequences for what he did. But Chilli doesn't want that. He doesn't want the investigation to get solved. He just wants all this information for himself so that he can say he is the only one who has all of this. He is the most special and important person in the world. That's all that it's about. Him, Chilli, that's it. It's not about this, and it's not about Lainey, and it's not about solving the investigation for
Another douchebag. How about that? How about that? Oh, hey, douchebag, let me help you out. You know, speeding is one thing. Speeding drunk in a cop car is another, douchebag. How about that? How about that? Speeding in a car that weighs 4,000 or 5,000 pounds, rushing through a 30-mile-an-hour zone at 80 miles an hour. As you, why do I got to do 75? Why do I got to do 75 for what? For what? Because there's a posted sign that says that that's what I have to do. I'm going up to 85. I'm going up to 85. F you. Let me see if I can reach her real quick. Hello. Opal, how are you? I got you on speakerphone here, and there's a couple hundred people here listening to you talk right now, so I just wanted to give you a call and see how you were doing.
Okay, I'm at the scandal light visual right now. There's still a few people out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Playing Lainey's favorite songs.
Yeah. I had to take that song off of the video that you made because they'll kick the video off of YouTube, so I had to change the song. But just so you know, when I listened to it, it was absolutely devastating to hear that.
Yeah. Now what is it now?
So I've got about 250 people listening to you talk right now, and if there's anything that you want and let people know, do you feel like there's a cover-up going on right now? It's reconnecting. Are you still there? Do I still got you? My phone's reconnecting here. 1 second, I can't hear you, but my phone's reconnecting. Still, damn it. Let me try to get her back on here. And I'm going to edit the audio from earlier so you guys can hear what she thinks. I just don't want to release anything that could hurt anybody. I'm with you, Top Rock. I'm with you all the way, dude. Exactly right. Let me try to reach her one more time. This woman sounds like she's going through hell right now. It's not true, Butch. I can't reach her again. Let me call. Thanks, Chevy. Appreciate you, man.
And that was Chilli trying to call the mother of this 13-year-old girl that was killed. He even admits that she's obviously going through hell at this time, yet he still insists on trying to call her and make her talk to his audience so that he seems important. Even when she answered the phone and he immediately said hi and starts talking, you can tell she's already annoyed with the fact that he's calling her. So I'm pretty sure he called a lot throughout the day, and she obviously didn't want to talk to him. These people are going through mourning. They're grieving. She just lost her 13-year-old daughter. She doesn't need to be called every few minutes by Chilli. Like, that's the last thing anybody needs. You are a nobody to this family, Chilli. Stop trying to embed yourself into them. Let them mourn. Let them deal with what they're dealing with without you trying to involve yourself for your own benefit. I'm glad that she disconnected the call and then ended it when you were trying to call her back. Because you can clearly tell when you were trying to call her back and it kept ringing and then it stopped like that, she pressed reject. But you are just going to keep trying. Because to you, the only thing that matters is yourself.
Yesterday, and this man is freely living life as a family mourns the loss of their child. I mean, and look at that. Look at the Cabell County. It looks like Raiders colors almost, doesn't it? I mean, take a look at that. Doesn't that look like something from the Raiders, from the Las Vegas Raiders? Why do we allow the people we pay to uphold our rights to dress as though they're some sort of executioner or they're on the Raiders football team? And if you're unfamiliar with the Raiders, if you don't watch any football, they've been known as the bad boys, as the
Yeah, the only thing I have to say about that whole thing about their patch is Chilli's just a dumbass.
The biggest drug dealers in America are cops. The biggest alcohol dealers are cops. The biggest pimps are cops. Running the gambling routes, cops. Who's smuggling drugs from overseas? Cops. Who's involved in getting drugs into America? Cops. Who does the raping? Cops. You think I'm kidding? The Riverside Strangler ended up being a cop. The cops are the top of the criminal food chain.
Yeah, Chilli's lying once again. The police are not the number one drug smugglers, drug dealers. They're not the number one that bring them in overseas. They're not the ones that run all the gambling. They're not the ones that basically everything that Chilli said. And as far as police officers being the biggest rapers out there, or rapists, sorry, there are over 463,000 rape victims in America each and every year. U.S. police officers charged with more than 400 rapes over 900, or over 9 years, research says. Even if you multiply 400 by 9, it still does not come out to 463,000. So he's lying about that. But we knew that. We knew he was lying. He then wants to state that the Riverside Strangler was a police officer. This was the Riverside Strangler, William Suff. Now let's go down to where it tells about him. So Suff subsequently tortured, stabbed, strangled, and sometimes mutilated 12 or more women in Riverside County between June 28th, 1989 and December 23rd, 1991. Suff worked as a warehouse clerk for Riverside County when he was arrested, having been hired while still on parole from Texas. During his time in the job, Suff delivered office furniture to the officers on a task force investigating his killing spree. So, again, Chilli is wrong. Riverside Strangler was not a police officer. Police officers are not the most who do, RAPES. Again, this all stems out from his hatred of police officers because he's jealous of the entire organization because he did not have what it took to be a police officer. He was not man enough to be a police officer. They turned him away, and then they arrested him for all his many, many, many crimes that he's committed in his 48 years and hates them. That's
we got, of course, that's the only picture that's available. So if that's really Hannah, then change your picture because no one's buying it. It's just, you're just another, it's like, it's just, what's really amazing to me is the sect of people in our country who are pro-cop. That's amazing to me. That's amazing. Cops in our country are scum. They literally are scum. And you guys see me talk to them, right? And look at that scumbag in Ironton. He's the guy that punches people in the head when they're in torture cuffs. Beth Rist put it in her book that the pig in Ironton punches dudes in the back of the head, 2 different people, when they're in torture cuffs. But he's a good guy. He's a constitutionalist. And you wonder why I don't like you, Chumpzilla? Because you're a scum bucket, bro. You're scum. Just the rest of the pigs are with you. As soon as you sign up to be a pig, you pretty much have to agree to be a scumbag. You have to agree to cover.
Okay, so now Chilli's attacking the girl that was in the police car with Deputy Racer. So Hannah, who was in the passenger seat with him, obviously was not his mistress, but was his cousin. But Chilli doesn't want to hear that. Okay, and if I would love for Hannah to see my video so she could see the kind of person Chilli really is. The thing is the deputy having his cousin in the passenger seat is not going to make the police officer look as bad personally as Chilli would like him to look. So he doesn't want to hear that. He doesn't want to hear the truth that Hannah is this officer's cousin. No, he wants to believe that it was his mistress so that he can paint this police officer as being an adulterer, as a horrible, horrible person who cheats on his wife and takes his girlfriend out to the bar and gets drunk and then drives 80, 90 miles an hour down a road and purposely kills a 13-year-old girl. That is the picture that Chilli is trying to paint on this police officer. It probably was an accident. I don't know how fast he was going because none of us know yet. But you could see it in his face and you could see the way he reacted after he stated, then you need to change your picture if that's the only one, blah, blah, blah. He didn't know what else to say. It pissed him off to find out the actual truth about the identity of the girl that was in the passenger seat of this police car. Because again, it's just not going to work for him if he cannot paint this police officer as being a horrible human being outside of his job. And that's what he's doing. He's trying to find things to attack him as a human being. And his cousin being with him, instead of it being a mistress, nah, it doesn't fit Chilli's narrative, and he doesn't want to hear it. And he's going to claim that that person is a troll, and they're just using Hannah's picture to say that she's not his mistress. There's not much left, thankfully. I had to watch this whole thing and figure out what parts were going to go in here. And it's just, he is disgusting no matter what. I'm just glad that I can point out all of his lies that he's doing to purposely make himself look like he's some kind of hero. And in actuality, Chilli's
can find the same people who I found. There are witnesses on the scene. There's going to be receipts. You can trace it back. There's going to be Ring cameras up and down that 60 right there. Is I think it's called the 60 Route 60. The Ring camera network. I guarantee you that some of the houses. Let me just pull this up and show you guys real quick so you guys can see. I want to show you guys something. This right here. Okay. So this right here, you see these houses up and down this street? There's going to be some of these houses right here for the kids in Huntington. There's going to be some of these houses have Ring cameras. Go there tomorrow before the cops get there. The cops will go to people's houses and steal their entire camera system. I've got plenty of stories on this. Go to this store over here, whatever that is, and get the cameras off of there. There's cameras at this gas station. There's cameras at these different places. You see this up here? There's going to be cameras on here. Now, what they're telling us is these cameras didn't work. Yeah, then why do we pay for them, and what are they doing there? I don't like camera lights, but they don't work when we need them, do they? They only work to give you a ticket. This house right here could have a camera on it. This house right here could have a camera on it. So find the cameras, kids. Walk up and down. Tomorrow, when you guys are protesting, don't just protest. Go up and down this street and find the cameras. Go look at houses, anybody who has a Ring camera, and get that camera. And if they don't give you the footage, then you got to say, give us the camera footage. There is camera footage here. This house right here could have camera footage. There, I guarantee you there's camera footage. This building right here may have camera footage on it. It may. Find the camera footage, kids. It's there. And double check on these. Double check. FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, and find out when these cameras were broken. Because they're saying they were broken. Get the camera footage, kids. The camera never lies. Get the camera footage. Get the camera footage. Okay. Anybody have any questions or anything? I just can't believe what people say. So here, let me just put this up here for everybody. So Carolyn here put, that may be seen as tampering with evidence. Be careful, everyone. Okay. Carolyn, put a 1 in the chat if you think the cops get the camera footage and it disappears. Put a 2 in the chat if people get the camera footage and it doesn't disappear. Put a 1 in the chat if you think cops would cheat with the camera footage. Put a 2 in the chat if you think people are less likely. Carolyn, I think if the cops get the camera footage, Carolyn, that it's gone. I think if the people get the camera footage, there's nothing tampering about having video evidence and then showing it. If you mess with the actual video, that's tampering, Carolyn. Cop sucker. Dunce cap. So kids got to go and get the footage. Go and get the footage. Let me just send you packing right off of my channel. Thank you so much for coming by. I do appreciate it. You can spread your doubt and hatred somewhere else. God bless you. Okay. Okie dokie. Person. I pinned it up there. Yeah. Is anybody sending me any money for this young girl's death? You're just a wacky person. Just a wacky person. Like, just people are just absolutely wacky. Like, just wacky. Just incredible. Just incredible. Mind-boggling how someone is so absolutely stupid. You can't fix people who are this stupid. Obviously,
no, whatever you do, do not walk up and down the streets and start demanding people's ring camera footage. And you can go to the stores and the gas station ask for their camera footage. They're not going to give it to you unless you're some kind of authority like police or detective, something like that. They're not going to just hand a 13-year-old their footage. Not going to happen. And if the property owner of the house says, no, you can't have the footage because you go up there and ask for it, if you stand around their house in a big crowd yelling at them, you're harassing them now because you're not getting what you're asking for. It doesn't matter. Caroline was right. Caroline was correct. By doing this, you are tampering with evidence. You are obstructing the investigation. You can get arrested for that. Again, do not listen to anything Chilli tells you. It's all wrong. He does nothing but lie. He twists everything up, and then he tries to get other people arrested. He is not a credible person in any way. He has zero credibility. Caroline was right. That's why he got upset. That's why he called her a hat. Again, dunce cap. We are the hats that sit on top of the dunce's head. And the dunce is Chilli. And then the other person was also correct. That Chilli is just lying to gain money out of this. Yes, Chilli, you were getting money. Because you were doing a private fundraiser for supposedly the family on top of airing their GoFundMe. And then when you get super chats, you literally say, oh, thanks for the super chat. I'll send all of it to the family. Well, actually, I'll send half of it to the family. You are a piece of shit. And you're right. It is mind-boggling how somebody can be so stupid. How can you be this stupid? Seriously, how can you be so stupid? And you're right. We can't fix stupid. We've been trying to fix you for a year now.
So we're literally in a war for freedom and for just our basic God-given rights. And so I go through and I have these bouts of humility where I try to unblock people who said horrible things to me. But the truth is that there's a certain sect of people, and I said it when I was in Denver, I'm not going to repeat it, but we would just be better off without them. We would just be better off without them. Like the world would be a better place if they weren't a part of it. And I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. There are people who are so ingrained in hatred and just disgust that we would be better as a society if they weren't with us. So unfortunately we have to drag along the trash with us as we continue down the road. But I just see it, because I go through and I don't have a photographic memory, but pretty close. So when I hit a button on someone, whether I click yes or no, pass or stay or whatever, I remember the username. And then I see them come in here after I've went through my page and took.
Yeah, there we are. That is parts from Chilli's second live stream about Lainey Hudson. It's disgusting. It's disturbing. It's full of lies. He's just willing to do whatever he can to get money without actually working. And he's going to lie through this and tell you guys this, that he knows this and he knows that, even though he doesn't know anything. And then when people tell the truth and give him, real law facts, he doesn't want to hear it. And he's going to say mean things about you and then block you. Because again, he does not want his followers to actually see the truth. They either cannot think for themselves or they're just too lazy to actually Google and fact check things that Chilli says. There's no reason to only believe him. He's not doing this as an activist. He's not doing this because he cares about Lainey. He's doing this because he cares about himself. He cares about the image he can become. And he cares about his bank account. And the only image Chilli's ever going to have is that he is a disgusting man-child who is severely mentally unstable and who will make money off of anybody's tragic situation. With that, I will see you in the next video. Take care, be safe, and I love each and every one of you.